an extraordinary settlement between CASA and the York Board of Elections, which will tremendously support Spanish-speaking voters' ability to better participate in our democracy. We will hear directly from community members on how this change will impact their experience in the voting polls. We will also hear from our partners from Latino Justice centered on what we can anticipate changing at the polls. That change is gonna happen tomorrow based on the settlement agreements. And finally, we will be reminded of CASA GOTV efforts. We will now hear from our partners of Latino Justice, the Center of Latino Justice. We're gonna hear from our dear Fulvia Vargas.
Good morning. Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. My name is Fulvia Vargas de Leon. I am Senior Counsel at Latino Justice PRLDEF. We are here today because voting is a fundamental right in this country, and all eligible voters are entitled to effective access to the ballot regardless of the language that they speak. The settlement in CASA v. Wheeler upholds the right to language access for voters in this county. This settlement agreement to our lawsuit, which will be in place for the next 5 years through December of 2028, results in tangible improvements to language access for Spanish-speaking voters in York County, and voters will see that when they go to the polls tomorrow. CASA, Latino Justice, and allies are here today to make sure that Spanish-speaking voters in York County know what resources are available to them and what improvements they will see at the polls tomorrow in terms of language access. Some of the resources that voters will see tomorrow include all 161 precincts in York County will have bilingual sample ballots available for reference, both online and in person at polling sites, as well as Spanish language resource signs. 33 precincts will utilize bilingual Spanish-English paper ballots with the possibility of greater coverage as demographics change throughout the term of the settlement. Any voter who needs Spanish language ballot may use the image CASX machine or ICX machine to cast a ballot in Spanish. Judges of election, poll workers, and staff are trained on how to assist voters with the ICX machine. York County Election Department employees have been trained on how to direct Spanish-speaking voters to the Spanish language interpretation line on election day. Important voting changes, such as changes in polling site locations, will be communicated in Spanish as well as English. Our achievements protecting voting rights ensures that voters across York County have access to expanded Spanish language resources and assistance on election day and year-round. We filed our lawsuit against York County Board of Elections because Spanish-speaking voters were being denied their right to language access at the polls. Voters told us that they couldn't access voting materials in Spanish and were unable to find anyone at the polls or York County Board of Elections office who could assist them in Spanish. Language barriers disenfranchise voters and weaken our democracy. It's our duty to remove obstacles to voting and to fight voter suppression. Latino Justice is committed to upholding and strengthening language access. That's why we continue to file cases on language access, like the CASA v. Wheeler case, and why we are pushing this issue at all levels of government to ensure that the constitutional right to vote is never conditioned on one's ability to speak English. I will make some remarks in Spanish as well. Hola, mi nombre es Fulvia Vargas de León, abogada con Latino Justice PRLDEF. El derecho al voto es un derecho fundamental en nuestro país y este derecho nunca debe de ser condicionado en la habilidad de hablar inglés. El acuerdo en el caso de CASA v. Wheeler mejoró y creó varias protecciones para los votantes que hablan español. Y esos votantes verán los cambios cuando vayan a votar mañana. Algunos de los cambios incluyen los 161 precintos en York County tendrán muestras de boleta de votación en inglés y en español. 33 precintos también tendrán boletas de votación bilingües. Cualquier votante que necesite asistencia en español tendrá acceso a la máquina ICX o ICX, donde podrán tener asistencia en español. Los empleados del Departamento de Elecciones de York County serán entrenados a dirigir a los votantes que llamen y hablen español a la línea de intérprete durante el día de elección. Cambios importantes sobre las elecciones y cómo votar serán comunicadas en español y en inglés, o los votantes recibirán notificación de cómo obtener la información en español. Seguiremos luchando para que todos los votantes que no hablen inglés tengan el mismo derecho al voto. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Fulvia, for those great words. There is so much key information for all Spanish-speaking voters. And thank you to Latino Justice, who joined in partnership with CASA and the Board of Elections to make this extraordinary agreement a reality for our members and the whole York community at large. So, muchísimas gracias a Fulvia por esas palabras claves para nuestra comunidad, y gracias también a Latino Justice, que hizo este esfuerzo juntamente con el board de elecciones en la comunidad, en el condado de York, y por haber hecho ese esfuerzo y llegar a este acuerdo, el cual no solamente nos va a dar más confidencia en nuestros votantes latinos, sino que también va a aumentar el número de votantes en cada urna. Ahora vamos a escuchar de nuestra miembro, Joanna Santana. Now we will hear from Joanna Santana. She's going to share with us her story as a Puerto Rican.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Joan Santana. Mi nombre es Joan. Soy de Puerto Rico, nací en Cagua y crecí en México. Emigré a Estados Unidos cuando tenía 21 años, trayendo conmigo mis 3 tíos, buscando abrir un camino para ellos. Y desde que llegué, hice enjoy mi lugar. En mis años de la juventud, mientras vivía en Puerto Rico, no me involucraba mucho en las elecciones, pero mi abuela era muy activa, participaba activamente, puesto que trabajaba en un municipio, con el tiempo fuera y activamente, puesto que trabajaba en el municipio. Lejos de seres queridos, siempre lo aprendido nos une por las enseñanzas. Y ya estando aquí en el 2008, la influencia del activismo de mi abuela me dio al llamado a involucrarme en las elecciones. Y fue entonces cuando por primera vez me interesé en emitir mi voto. En ese tiempo mi inglés no era muy efectivo y me costó mucho entender y expresar mi voto por medio de la papeleta de la votación. Eventualmente, aquí con mis hijos y en sus años de escuela, pude mejorar mi inglés y ha sido más probable mi primer pensamiento en español. Y prefiero el idioma español antes que el inglés. Por eso, hoy el saber que nuestro derecho de implementar esta ley que nos favorece a nosotros los puertorriqueños y a la comunidad latina se ha podido implementar, me siento más confiada y muy contenta con esta oportunidad de cambios, pues solamente Puerto Rico se beneficia, sino muchas más personas que su primer idioma es español. Luchas como esta son muy importantes para hacer valer nuestros derechos y para tener poder de decisión en nuestras propias comunidades. Y nuestra gente siga empoderándose hacia victorias como el acceso al idioma, del cual hemos sido educados y preferiblemente nuestro idioma, con el cual nos sentimos confiados. Gracias a CASA, hoy puedo decir a toda mi gente que no se queden en su casa, que salgan a votar para ejercer el derecho a elegir a quienes nos representan.
Muchas gracias, Joana. Now I'm going to translate for Joanna that really impacted story that she just shared with us. So it goes like that. My name is Joanna, and I am from Puerto Rico. I was born in Caguas and I grew up in Juncos. I emigrated to the United States when I was 21 years old, bringing my three children with me, looking to open a path for them. And since I arrived, I made York my new home. In my younger years, while I lived in Puerto Rico, I did not get much involved in the elections, but my grandmother was very involved and participated actively since she worked in a municipality. With time away from our loved ones, what we learn always reunite us, like their teachings. Back in 2008, the influence of my grandmother activism gave me the call to get involved in the elections. And it was when, for the first time, I became interested in casting my vote. At that time, my English was not very effective, and it cost me a lot to understand and express my vote through the voting ballot in the English language. Eventually, with my children in their school years, I was able to improve my English, and it has been more favorable. But my first thought is always in Spanish. For that, I always prefer the Spanish language. This is why today, knowing that our right to implement this law that benefits us Puerto Ricans has been able to be implemented, I feel more confident and thrilled with this accomplishment that not only Puerto Ricans benefit, but many more people whose first language is Spanish. Struggles like this are significant to assert our rights and to have the power of decision in our communities. And our people continue to be empowered towards victories such as access to language, which have been educated preferably in Spanish. Um, and we feel comfortable expressing ourselves in Spanish. Thanks to CASA, today I can tell my people not to stay at home, but to go out and vote to exercise their right to choose who represent us. Access to our language gives us power. Sí se puede. Thank you, Joanne, for sharing your story with us. And now we will hear from Rosemary Cintron. She is the CASA's voter registration manager, and she will share her remarks about GOTV, but it's really important since tomorrow we have the election day already. So now vamos a escuchar de parte de Rosemary Cintrón. Ella es la manager de voter registrations, la registración de votos, y ha estado al frente de este programa y está dándonos remarks para que todos podamos venir a votar.
Thank you. I'm Rosemary Cintron, the Pennsylvania Voter Engagement Manager. And for the last 10 days, we've been running a GOTV campaign in South Central Pennsylvania as a strong team of 14 individuals providing language access and voting information in both English, in Spanish, and as well as French. We are excited to say that we have knocked on almost 5,600 doors in the last 10 days, and we are able to provide individuals with voter education and let them know what elections are coming up, where they can go vote, and how they can vote in both English and now Spanish. So we're thrilled to be able to report this information to our community and provide these services in both English, Spanish, and French. Thank you. I'd also like to introduce Daniel Avaya, Pennsylvania's, I forgot his job title. State Director.
¿Sí se puede? ¿Sí se puede? ¿Sí se puede? Buenos días a todos, mi nombre es Daniel Alvalle, soy el director estatal de CASA. Felicidades, no puedo hablar. Felicidades, mi gente. Si está planeando salir a votar, dese un gran aplauso por hacer que su voz sea escuchada, y esta vez en su propio idioma, español.
Felicidades, mi gente. If you are planning to get out the vote, give yourselves a round of applause and congratulations for getting it out to make your voices heard in both English and now in Spanish language.
Bienvenidos para un gran día mientras celebramos que las papeletas de voto están en nuestro idioma, en el cual entendemos perfectamente que nos sentimos más confiados de usar.
Welcome for a day of joy as we celebrate this great achievement of having the ballot in the language we understand better and feel confident with.
La misión de CASA es defender incansablemente los derechos de dignidad y respeto de nuestros valiosos miembros. Somos una comunidad poderosa y dedicada que invertir en esta causa esencial para asegurar un futuro mejor para nuestras familias. Esto es más que una batalla, es un compromiso profundo con el bienestar de las generaciones futuras. Unidos, mantenemos nuestra determinación de hacer la diferencia. ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí!
CASA's mission is to tirelessly advocate for the rights and dignity and respect of our valued members. We are a dedicated and powerful community, passionately investing in this essential cause to secure a brighter future for our families and our community. This is more than a battle. It's a profound commitment to the well-being of future generations. United we stand, resolute in our determination to make a difference. Sí se puede.
¡Sí se puede! 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 Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, Rosemary. Gracias, Daniel, for his remarks. Thank you so much, Rosemary and Daniel. Thank you for those remarks. And now we're going to hear from our dear and long life ally and best friend of CASA, our dear Delma Rivera, who is a C3 board member, and she will lead us to the closing remarks.
Yes, we can. I just found out that I was asked to speak a few words, and it really is my honor to represent the board of directors and for all of us to be able to have this press conference, especially the day right before the election. And being Puerto Rican and having all the members from CASA here to know that they'll be able to go out to the polls tomorrow and have everything in their own language and to be able to understand the process is really remarkable. And I think that the collaboration between the Latino Justice, the York County Board of Elections, CASA, really shows that sí se puede when we all work together. And I think it's very important also to share that, you know, when we work together, and I personally want to thank the York County Board of Commissioners and President Julie, Commissioner, to thank her and all of our commissioners. It's not always easy to come to an agreement, and this extraordinary agreement is something I'm very proud of. And I know my parents, they have a legacy of working with the Latino community right in this space, and the fact that we're here today announcing this is just extremely special. So, sí se puede when we work together, and so proud of everybody here. Thank you.
¡El pueblo Thank you so much, Delma. Thank you so much, Delma, for those motivating words that you just gave us. And so this morning press conference has now concluded. Then after this, we will be taking interviews or questions one-on-one from us. So thank you so much for being here. And mi gente, sí se puede. Sí se puede.